Imagine it's 2026, you have got self-driving cars, AI that can write poetry, we have sent robots to Mars, but if you look at who is sitting in the world's most powerful position, it's still mostly men. US Congress 72% men, 500 CEOs 94% male, worldwide leaders out of 193 countries, only 13 led by women. That is less than 7%. So here is the question that has been on the humanity mindset for centuries. Why do men rule? Is it biology? Is it history? Or it is just the way things are supposed to be? Or is this something deeper going on, something we have all been living with for so long that we don't even question it anymore? First, we need to define what we mean by rule. When we say someone rules, we are talking about power, authority, and leadership. Who makes the decision that affects millions of people? Who control resources? Who send the law and set the tone of everything? In ancient time, this was pretty straightforward. Kings ruled kingdom, and empires ruled empires. And guess what? Almost all of them were men. In ancient civilization, power often comes from physical forces and military strength. If you could conquer land and defeat it, you ruled. Women hold only 26% of parliament seats worldwide. Only 13 out of 193 countries have female heads of states. Just 6% of 500 CEOs are women. In each tech industry, women make up only 28% of workforce, and the number dropped dramatically at its level. According to the recent research, men control approximately 70% of global wealth. So yeah, statistically speaking, men still holds the majority of formal power position. And this is important. That is not the full picture. Women are leading in education, healthcare, social movements, and increasingly in entrepreneurship. The landscape is shifting. So the real question isn't just do men rule, it's why have men ruled for so long, and it is they're changing. So I say rule, I'm not talking about building your little sibling, I mean power. Historically, many power structures were kingdom empires, usually have leaders and they are men. But power today does not mean a crown. It's CEOs, governments, major institutes, social influence. To understand why men have dominated power structure, we need to go back away. I am talking 10,000 to 12,000 years ago. Imagine every human society. We have a hunter-gathering living in a small group trying to survive. Here is what mattered back then: physical strength. But because men were better than women, but because survival often depended on activities that required upper body strength, hunting large animals, defending the group from predators or ruler tribes, and carrying heavy loads over long distance. Studies show that men have on average 50% more upper body strength than women due to higher muscle power and mass and testosterone level. In a world without technology, where your survival literally depends on your ability to wildfire or fight off attackers, that matter a lot. So here is what happened: a division of labor emerged. Men typically took a hunting, going out for days, trekking dangerous games, carrying heavy kills back to camp. Women typically took on gathering, collecting plants, nuts, and berries, which actually provides the majority of the calories the group consumes. And women raised children, and which was absolutely essential for the group's survival. Now here is the key point: either role was more valuable, both were necessary for survival. But here is where things shifted. Around 10,000 years ago, humans discovered agriculture. We supposed to wander and start settling down, and we shifted down. We started owning things. land, livestock, resources, and here is the critical moment. Whoever controlled the property controlled the power. In most early agriculture societies, property were passed down through males. Why? Because knowing who the father was uncertain, but maternity was obvious. So society that wanted to keep property in the family trained through men. This creates a system where men own land, men inherited wealth, and men made decisions about resources. And slowly, over thousands of years, this becomes the norm. This is what called the formation of patriarchy, a social system where men hold primary power and predominate in roles of political leadership, moral authority, and control of property. But remember, this did not happen because men were smarter or are naturally better leaders. It happened because of specific historical circumstances and survival strategies that made sense at that time. The problem, this system stuck around long after the original reason for them disappeared. Okay, so let's tackle the big question everyone's thinking. Is male dominance biological? Some groups argue, look, men are physically stronger. They have more testosterone. They are naturally more aggressive and competitive. Maybe they are just biologically wired to lead. Let's break it down. Physical strength, yes, on average men do have greater physical strength, but here is the thing. In the modern world, how often does physical strength determine who should be president or who should be run a company or who should be a scientist or doctor? The answer, almost never. We are not choosing leader based on who can lift the heaviest rock anymore. We are living in an age where intelligence, emotional intelligence, strategic thinking, communication skill, and collaboration matter for more than biceps, testosterone, and risk training. Studies do show that testosterone is linked to more risk-taking behaviors and competitiveness, and historically taking risk like exploring new territories and engaging in combat might lead to position of power. But again, is risk-taking always good? Some of the worst decisions in the history, unnecessary wars, financial crashes, and politically unrealistic things come from due to risk-taking without enough thinking about it. So we have established how male dominance started and how culture reinforced it. But how it persists for so long? The answer, through the interconnection system that blocked women from power while keeping men in control. Let me walk you through them. Educational access. For most of human history, formal education was reserved through exclusively for men. Women don't attend universities. In fact, the first women weren't admitted to a university in Europe until the 1800s. Oxford does not full degree to women until 1920. Harvard does not fully admit women until 1977. No education, no access to knowledge, no path to power. Inheritance law. In many societies, only sons would inherit properties. Daughters not get nothing or very little. This meant that even in wealthy families, women had no economic independence. Politically, women would not vote in most countries until the 20th century. Switzerland does not give women the vote until 1971. Saudi Arabia 2015. No vote, no political voice, no representations. In many places, women were legally considered property for their fathers or husbands. They would not sign contracts, own businesses, or even have their own bank account. In the US, women would not get a credit card in their own name without a male co-singers until 1974. Think about that, 1974. Even when more women entered the workforce, they were paid less, promoted less, and stressed towards female jobs, nursing, teaching, while men dominated higher paying fields and leadership positions. From birth, both Boys and girls were taught different things. Boys, be strong, be leaders, be ambitious. Girls, be modest, be supportive, be nurturing. This condition was so powerful that many women this condition was so powerful that many women believed that they did not even aspire to leadership position. For decades, media portrayed women in limited roles, wives, mothers, love interests, while men were shown as leaders, heroes, and decision makers. When we see someone like we in a position of power, it's hard to imagine yourself there. All of these systems work together like a machine, constantly reproducing male dominant X's generation. But here is what critical to understand. These weren't natural or inconveniable. They were human creations, which mean they would be changed. And starting in the 19th century, they begin to challenge. So let's talk about now, 2026. Are men still ruling in formal power structure? Yes, mostly we covered these statistics early, but the picture is way more complex than it used to be. Women now earn more bachelor degrees than men in most countries. Developed countries like 57% in the US are entering medicals and law school at equally or higher seats, are starting businesses at record number. Women-owned businesses grew 21% from 2014 to 2019 compared to just 9% of all business. Lead major movement of social change, climate activists, voting rights to field like healthcare, education, psychology, and social work. Women now dominate. The question: why is this change happening so fast now? Education. Once girls gained equal access to education, they study often show that when give the same opportunity, girls perform as well as better than the boys academically. The modern economy does not rely on physical strength anymore. Intelligence, creativity, communication skill, emotionally intelligence, these are what matters now. The women have proven they excel in all of these areas. Women today know their right and aren't afraid to demand them. Social media have made organized and rising awareness early than ever. Birth control give women control over when if they have children. Dual income families become the norm. Divorce become possible without social. When you see women leading, whether it's in New Zealand, Germany, Australia, or everywhere, whether it's CEO, businessmen, YouTubers, it normalized the idea that women can lead. Many men now support gender equality, challenge behavior, and actively monitor women in their field. Companies have discovered that diverse leadership leads to better decision and better financial performance. Research has constantly showed that companies with more women in leadership are more profitable. The momentum is building, but we have not there yet. Here is a reality check. At the current rate of changing, the World Economic Forum estimated it will take another 132 years to close the global gender gap completely, and we will be no one in this world anymore. We will all be in the grave. Let's be real about what's still holding women back. The confidence gap. Studies show that women often have this resonates with you. Share this video, talk about it, question old stories, encourage equal opportunity wherever you are. If you have a story about gender equality, good or bad, write in the comments. I would love to hear. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.